That's how it is, you know. Kenny, today is August 20th. This is the Link Cable Podcast.
Fuck, it's already August 20th, man.
Yep. Today we are recording episode 85.
85.
It's late in the summer and late in the series.
And I can't believe it's fucking almost already done this summer. This is like, oh, are we getting older? That like summers are going by faster as we get older, or I have no clue anymore. Like,
no, summer's always going fast.
Yeah,
I think it's the same thing when people say, "Oh, this is so hot." It was never this hot before. It was never cold this. It's never been this cold. Well, it has been though,
sure.
Right?
Sure. I think the problem is it's that Labor Day weekend. Like, it's kind of weird, like how that's a demarcation point for the end of summer.
I was talking to a guy who said his birthday's on the 21st or 3rd. I can't remember what he said, but early this week, anyways. And he said that's the marker for him. Like, he celebrates his birthday, and he knows that that's kind of the end of summer now. It's time to.
Oh, that's so sad.
No, I don't think so. Why? It's like it's a chance to celebrate before you kind of get back into things, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I think the summer, everybody kind of slows down a little bit, and then you gear back up in the fall.
Yeah, just like video game companies, they also slow down
in the summer, which is too bad because that's when I have the most time to put in. I have not bought anything all summer. That's not to say that I haven't been playing video games, but there's nothing that I've really put a ton of time into and been excited about.
Yeah. Have you been renting more in the summer, or just like been like doing other things, sort of thing?
Renting video games?
Yeah, from the library or whatever.
From Blockbuster?
All right, from the library.
No. I mean, there's things that I could play. I got the 2 summer games that I played from the library. I got, like I said, the not Gradius, the other one.
Parodius?
No, the not Konami one. I got what is it? I just played it recently. I talked about it on the show. Yeah, Raiden 5.
Oh, okay.
Which I played just
library joint.
Yeah, I played just a little bit. And then the other one was Evil Within 2.
Oh, okay.
I played, I don't know, like 10 minutes of and turned it off. Not that I'm sure it's fun. It's just I'm not into.
You weren't in the mood for it.
Well, no, not only that. I think the third person action thing is like really done for me. Like I get it. It's a genre that I don't really enjoy, and I think it is a genre at this point. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I understand that it's a camera view. But a lot of those games, you can have different story genre or aesthetic genre.
Mm-hmm.
But in gameplay, like I'll see Evil Within and Uncharted and God of War, like it's all the same game, right?
They're kind of blending for you, like it's not distinguished enough between one and another.
Well, no, and I didn't really love them when I first started coming out either. Like, I've never been that much into it. The Assassin's Creed thing. Like, I'll play Assassin's Creed now and again. Like, it's not that I don't play them. It's just I don't really care that much.
And
as soon
as jam for
what? Yeah, and something's got to happen real quick to hook me and have me play it longer than 10 minutes. And I played it for a few minutes, and I was like, okay, like I know what this is. I don't expect to be surprised by anything, and so I'd rather put my time into something else.
Sure. So something like exceptional, like Bayonetta, might capture your attention, or God.
Bayonetta is not the same at all.
No.
Bayonetta is not like a over the shoulder third person action thing.
Oh, it's pulled out way more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely different. It's like an action game.
Yeah.
And it's fine because there's a lot of games that people talk about and are excited about that, I'll play it. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying that they're not something I get that excited about. Right.
Yeah.
Instead, I'll put my time into my 2018
potential game of the year.
Potential game of the year.
I'd like to hear this because
it won't be my game of the year.
we all had guesses, but like I don't know what is this
Yeah,
mysterious game?
earlier in the week, I had kind of teased you guys and saying like next time on the show, I'm going to be talking about it. This is going to be guaranteed. It's not going to be my game of the year, but it might stay in the top 10.
Okay.
I have played it. I got it on the 16th, so 4 days ago.
Okay.
And in those 4 days, I'm at probably 15 hours, which is
that's actually not
excessive
that hardcore for
bad.
you.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah. But when I tell you what it is, you're gonna be like, "What?" All right.
All right.
So this is a game. Do you want to play a game and try to like guess based on clues? Do you want to bring back 20 questions?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
Is it an indie game?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Not indie.
Is it a handheld game?
I don't know how to answer that. I'm gonna say no.
Oh, okay. Is it for the Switch?
Yes. Not indie and for Switch.
Was it released in last week?
It may have been. It was very recent.
That's going to be hard for me because I don't know what's released.
But you can't search for anything. You can't look up anything either, though.
I know, but I honestly, like, I haven't turned on my Switch in like at least 3 weeks now.
Yeah. So. No, it came out July 27th.
July 27th. Jesus.
But no looking stuff up.
It's not Hollow Knight because you were playing that before already. It's not.
Hollow Knight's pretty indie too, though.
Oh yeah, it's indie too. Who the hell released a game in the last little while?
Exactly. Let's make it 5 questions so we don't have to sit through like 40 minutes of. And that's not a criticism on you because I'd be in the same situation. You remember how 20 questions used to go. Super fun. I love doing it, but
fuck.
You got one more.
Jesus Christ. The hell got released?
20 questions.
Is it a Switch exclusive?
No.
No.
Actually, keep going. That's 5. Let's do 10.
Switch exclusive. No.
Start burning through them. Start throwing stuff out to figure this thing out. You got to narrow it down. Don't go off memory or thinking about it.
Is it a 2D game?
No.
Like, 2D pixel art game.
No. Oh, okay. Is that 2D? Okay. Yes. The answer is no to both of those.
The 2D game? No. Is it a pixel art game? No. So 3D game, not it's on Nintendo, but not exclusive to Nintendo.
Throw more questions.
Shit.
Questions. How does it play? What's the art style? Genre? There's so many things you could ask. We'll just sit there quiet. Let's go.
All right. Is the character you play as a male?
Can be.
Can be. Okay.
Which gives away too much. It's supposed to be yes and no.
Shit. Why am I drawing a blank on this?
So just start asking other fucking questions. This guy just sitting here quiet and thinking about it.
Yeah,
Who's the developer? What genre? There's so many things that you could ask to try to narrow it down.
Okay. Is the developer a Japanese developer?
Yes.
Is it what question am I on? 7?
You're on 9.
9 already?
Yeah.
Is it a Capcom game?
Oh.
Shit, I don't know what's out.
So just start asking questions.
Yeah, but you said like we're at 10 now, so
Yeah, so spit them out. It doesn't matter. Like there's no prize for winning.
Okay, fine. Is it
It's fucking boring. It's Go Vacation.
I'm really trying. Yeah. It's what vacation?
Go Vacation. This game came out for Switch in 2011. And all this is, it's exactly the same thing, only it's like higher resolution. Like there's been nothing added to it.
Oh, I remember us mentioning this. Like
it's exactly the same thing. Go Vacation I bought because I don't know, I had interest in it just because from what I had seen of it, I didn't play the Wii one.
Okay.
But for my 6-year-old, looking at trailers and stuff, it's super bright and sunny. You know, there's blue skies and you can ride a horse and you can drive a car and you can go skateboarding. You can there's tons of different vehicles, and there's beach and there's city and there's mountains and skiing, and there's a whole bunch of different activities you can do like kayaking and clay shooting, and there's bungee jumping. Like you can do anything in this game, right? There's so many different things to do.
And how much was this port?
It's a full price game.
Holy crap.
And it's none of the games are super fantastic, but they're not all completely trash either, right?
Okay.
Like if you think of them kind of on par with Mario Party mini games, but maybe longer versions of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I thought, you know what, it would be fun. I know it's local multiplayer, up to 4 people, split screen.
Okay.
And so I figured, you know, it might be something to play around with. And my kid is not super great at video games, and not that I care, but you know, it's something that I can share with her if I play video games. And so if she's a little better at controlling things, then maybe like she'd have more fun because she's not very good at using the controller. Okay. And so I figured Go Vacation is a good way to learn how to navigate in a 3D space, right? So I bought it mostly for her, but with like something in the back of my head saying, you know what, I might have some fun with this too, right? Like as a shared family experience. It's so fun. It's so fun. Tim was over on Friday night, Saturday night, some night on the weekend. Tim was over. And I was disappointed that he couldn't make the show tonight because I wanted him to talk about it as well. And I told him, hey, you know what it is? It's Go Vacation. He was like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're an idiot, right? And so Fanny and Jane and I and Tim, in the afternoon, probably around 4:00.
Okay.
We sat down to play Go Vacation, the 4 of us. And we played and we did a bunch of stuff. We ran around, and then we had to stop to go have some dinner. And we looked at the clock and it was like 7. So we had played it for a good number of hours before, like, oh my God, like we got to like get on with the day. Like, well, this is too much. Right. But just, you know, every once in a while, and I haven't thought about it. I should have thought ahead of time of a relatable experience. But say one of the things that we were trying to do was we were in Mountain Resort, and it's like a big mountain, it's not this, there's a snow resort that's like skiing, but this is just like a farmland mountainous region. Right.
Okay.
And you have ATVs and horses and whatever else. And so we spent a good part of the time, and I was crying. Like Tim and I were both crying. We were laughing so hard. Like Jane's coming apart. Like we had so much fun. And all it was we found a ramp that you could like jump ATVs off of. But then we started lining ATVs up underneath the ramp and then trying to like jump over them. And then it was, okay,
so put a Evel Knieveling.
Yeah. And then it's like put an ATV under the ramp and then drive onto someone else's ATV slowly to see if you can drive around with an ATV on top of your ATV. Like figuring out the physics for like, okay, I can get in the car with you. Like, and that's one of the like hit X to carpool, you know what I mean? but you can also just jump on top of the car and then have them drive around with you on like standing on the car, right? And then trying to figure out physics, like can I go off jumps and you stay on, and can I go down hills and you stay on, and just trying to figure out How do I get onto a train with my ATV? Like, we figured out when the train goes past this part, you can jump off and land on top of the train. Could I bring a horse on top of the train? Right. Like, and so without actually playing a lot of the mini games that are in here, just playing the game and like messing around and, what can we do with this kayak?
And answering mankind's greatest questions.
Right. That's right. Like there's a big castle and then you see a little path. I'm like, can you get up there? And then, Tim and I are both trying to like clip through things and see if we can get through different areas. Like, it was so fun. And just, that's all that I've, like, the last 4 days, we've played it so much where we'll pop on, play for a couple hours. And like, I don't know, I never play for that long with my kid, but it's just, time goes so fast because we're both killing ourselves laughing and trying to figure out where treasure chests are so you can change your costumes. Like, there's different outfits different outfit sets for each resort. So there's like snow related ones and city related outfits that are more like urban style kind of stuff. There's beach related outfits. But then the other thing is that by playing the game and unlocking stuff, you get keys to unlock furniture. And then there's like a whole separate thing where you have a villa and you have like, you design your house and you can set furniture wherever you want and like change this. Like, there's so much to do in this game. It's
so ridiculous. You're saying it's a more fun, more like realized Animal Crossing world.
More active, I guess. I mean, it's different because I think the Animal Crossing is it's the interactions with the city denizens that make Animal Crossing fun.
Yeah.
Where this one is just doing things,
Yeah.
But instead of one map, there's 4 maps, and the maps are huge. Like, it's amazing to me. We'll warp to the top of the snow mountain. And then like a good 10 minutes passes before you're at the bottom. And that's like pushing full speed on my skis, like trying to get to the bottom. Like, massive. Get on a jet ski in the beach resort. And it takes a couple of minutes to get across the bay to like the other side of the landform. I'm surprised to say it. I'm not saying it like ironically. Like, I am loving this game, which is not what I expected at all.
So explain to me, like, is it like there's like 4 regions? So what is there like I don't know, like 24 games? Like,
there's there's between I'm gonna say 10 and 14 games at each resort.
Are you kidding me? Holy!
So there's like 50 games in this thing, and it's not that they're all exact copies of each other either.
Sure.
Like, there's a snowball fight that is really, really fun. There's, which ones did I really like? I should have prepared that too, but there's a few different games that I really enjoyed playing. And then to add on top of that, there's the games that you play, and it's not just so say you have ATV races, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's multiple difficulty levels. So the first time you played, it's like, here's how ATV races played, and then you go through the one time. And if you don't pass it, it's fine. You get a stamp that says you've done it, and that unlocks a couple other things. And so that's kind of like we're going to teach you how to play, and we're going to introduce a little bit at a time so you're not overwhelmed. And they unlock things through these stamps, the stamp system. So even if you fail it, you play once and you get the stamp, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you go back to the activities other times, it'll give you a different menu where you can choose which difficulty you want, and then you get check marks showing that you passed each of the difficulties. So there's different some of the games have different ways to play. Some of the games have like variations on them that you have to beat at different difficulties. Like, there's a ton of content in this thing. There's a ton of content.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's what I was surprised about. Just as we played, it just kept like, there's more. Like, I can do more. What? Like, I was surprised over and over and over how much there is in this.
Like, no, it's like wow. It's amazing. There's 50 activities like that. They're like bigger than Mario Party games. Like,
yeah,
wow.
They're huge. There's, and I mean, not that it's all exactly.
Are there reskins? Like, is it like a reskinning of some of the activities and stuff? I'm sure there is, right?
Some of them in some way. So say you have ATV race, and then there's also like downhill skiing, right?
Okay.
Where it's not exactly the same.
Okay, yeah.
But the concept is the same, right?
It's
The
still a
control
race.
is generally the same. It's a race,
Oh,
sure.
okay.
But then there's
Okay.
also, the skiing one has slalom instead. And so you have to go through flags where with ATV races, it's just racing.
Okay.
I would say the biggest overlap, in quotes, reskin, are like the tricks. So, in Tony Hawk, how you have like your trick, you do tricks, do a bunch of tricks and then land it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They have ATV tricks and jet ski tricks and skateboard tricks, and like those ones are very
Okay.
similar to each other.
Okay.
Um, but still, it's different enough where it doesn't feel like, oh, it's just this again.
Okay. Interesting.
Which other? There was another one the other one we were dying laughing was long jump. They have long jump,
Well,
and sometimes the description of what you have to do is not very clear, and it's janky. Like it's not awful. Like it's weird because it's janky because it's super cheap. Like it's this sounds awful, but we got the credits the other day. Jane and I finally finished all the stamps yesterday, maybe this morning. I think it was this morning, and the credits rolled, and I would say that like 70% of the names are Chinese. Sorry, this is a Namco Bandai game.
So it's not you, it's them.
So it's you know what I mean? It's got that like mobile game kind of sheen to it, where it doesn't come across as like a very high quality game.
Sure.
But
I had fun with Rusty's whatever thing for the baseball game on the
Sure,
3DS. That was very much the same thing.
It's but it's surprisingly more polished than I would expect. Like it's not great. The menus are a little janky. If I want to change my costume and I go to the what's it called? Like the hub thing that you go to change your costume.
Okay.
I do it, and then there's a loading time until it gets to the costumes, and then I change it, but only I can do it. We can't, like, if Jane and I are playing together, we have to do it separate. And there's a lot of loading between each of those things. So I do it and then she does it. And like the whole process takes like 5 minutes when it should take, a minute and a half. And so there's a couple things that are a little janky, but while you're playing, it's seamless.
So it's Bandai Namco. So what kind of theming is there? Is there like Pac-Man heads all over the place? Is there like
no, there's nothing.
Nothing.
There's nothing. And I don't know who developed this thing. I have no idea. No, it was Bandai Namco.
Gundam shirts, no.
Namco. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any crossover stuff in here.
Interesting.
The outfits are fun. They'll give you like real outfits. You get like different suits or this kind of stuff, but they'll also give you like princess outfits. And you get like a wizard outfit, and I got it like a box robot, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm surprised how much I enjoy it. Like I say, it's by all means, you know what? Maybe it's a B game. Maybe this is what I'm looking for, right?
This feels like a B game. Come on.
There's some money into this. There's a ton of content. None of it is absolutely fantastic, but there's enough here where just I get the itch to play. Like I asked Jane yesterday, yesterday. I said, "Hey, after you go to sleep, do you mind if I play some of the higher level stuff? Try to get some check marks." She's like, "No, you have to wait for me." I was like, "Okay." And then she went to bed, and I was like, "Man, like I really want to play this game," and I didn't. But like, it's a testament to how much I'm enjoying it. Where like I want to play it even when she's not there, So yeah, I was really excited, and I still am, for Super Mario Party, and I think it's October.
Yeah.
To scratch exactly this itch that Go Vacation is scratching. Like you mess around and you play stuff. It's really fun. So yeah, Go Vacation. Nice. Comes highly recommended. I don't know. I can assume that I haven't really looked around, but I'm going to assume that reviews on this are not wonderful. Like I'm going
Which
to
makes it a perfect Chris game.
sure, some way. I expect to see from other reviews the word shovelware.
Look, when it first came out, it didn't really light the world on fire. It has a Metacritic score of like 62%. So
Yeah.
I don't imagine this one's going to be much better.
But that's not sub 50.
That's not sub 50, no.
Right? It's, you know what?
95% of Google users like the game though.
So
So
that means something, maybe, right? Maybe the critical love is not there, but you know, if you give it a chance, I think you may be into it, you know. And again, definitely, I don't want to make it sound like it would be super fun if I wasn't playing it with my kid. You know what I mean? I'm sure a large part of the enjoyment comes from that. But it's working for me, absolutely. And like I said, Jane was playing while Tim and I were messing around with like the vehicles and mechanics and stuff. But kind of beside what we were playing. If she wasn't there,
have to be in the same area.
Yeah, and so, but my point is that even if she wasn't like directly related to what we were doing, we were still having a lot of fun doing what the two of us were doing together. You know,
cool.
So it's not just because of her. It's not just a kid thing.
Yeah.
I think this. So on Wikipedia here it says Famitsu, it got 1 8 and 3 7s. Nice. Yep, like that's.
That's a B game.
That's what I expect. Right?
Solid B.
And funny enough, I actually bought it digital.
Yep.
I'm not much of a digital guy, but I figure I'm not gonna be able to resell this piece of shit ever. And it seems like the kind of game that if I'm gonna play it with a kid, then I have my games that I'm playing on cards, and you know, if she wants to play Go Vacation, it's there, right?
Yep. Wherever you go.
Yeah. You can play solo. You can play split screen multiplayer with a number of different control options. But they even threw in like a remote play thing. So if someone else had for multiple switches, I'm going to assume that Switch doesn't have download play, does it? Like DS did?
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm going to assume that it doesn't, and that you need your own copy of Go Vacation. But I like that it's there, even if like no one else I know will ever have Go Vacation. And like I say, with split screen, it doesn't matter anyways. It's been a ton of fun.
So this is a perfect segue since I also bought a retro game collection, I guess, from previous games and stuff, and I bought WarioWare Gold.
Oh, cool. 3DS.
Yeah. So I didn't play every single one of the old WarioWare games.
And is it from all of them? From all the WarioWare games?
It's from. It looks like from the original plus the Twisted plus Touch, and I think they chose the best of between those three.
Super subjective though, but continue.
Sure. I played the most of Touch, and I think the Wii version. But I know Twisted's like the top for just about everybody, I think. Is it your top, I guess, as well?
I don't know if I ever played it or not.
No.
Because it had I don't think I did. Was it Game Boy Advance or was it DS?
GBA, and they were trying to push the micro at the same time. So the whole thing was everybody was buying the micro and it, and
no, I missed it because it came out late in Game Boy Advance life, right?
Yeah.
No, I missed that one. Touch was I jumped in on Touch, but Touch was not great.
So you might get a lot out of this then. It might be fun. Not at full price. It's a pretty expensive game, but it hasn't been selling well, so hopefully they'll discount it soon. But man, like it reminds me of how much I love those WarioWare games. They're just like really even smaller bite-sized chunks of games that are basically 5 seconds, and you have to if you've never played the mini game before, you kind of have to figure out how to solve the 5-second game by just a short word description. So like all the other WarioWare games. So yeah, it'll be something simple like that, or like defend. and
Yep.
then you'll be like defending like a fencing sort of thing. So
Yep.
it's a pretty nice collection. It looks like you have to play it multiple times in order to unlock everything.
And that's always been the case with WarioWare games.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think Rhythm Heaven and it always had lots of in common. So I always mix the two up. Sometimes I think something's in Rhythm Heaven. Sometimes I think it's in WarioWare. But yeah, as you open up the stuff, you'll get other like mini games and things that you can use. There's a weird thing that's been happening though, like with the unlocks. Like we'll get like a card for certain people, and they'll have like statistics and like a level for that card. So I'm wondering if those cards will be used later on if you unlock enough stuff. So there might be more to this game later on, but yeah, for now it's just a whole bunch of really like fun 5-second games that you can play.
Now, can I ask, with Twisted had something special in the cart, didn't it, to recognize like the gyro thing?
Yep.
And so the 3DS has it built into the system. Does it?
Yes.
Does it work properly?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There's no issue with
very
it.
much so.
It's funny because you don't really think of the 3DS as having that capability. You know what I mean?
I can't even name another game that uses it.
Because there's the ones that come with it. You know, there's the camera thing where you know the built-in games, like the OS level games. But I can't think of any game that used it either.
The OS level games. Oh yeah. That's right. I always thought that was
called Face Raiders.
Yeah, but I thought that was only using the cameras. I never realized it was using the gyroscope.
Yeah, because there's you move it around.
Okay.
Shoot things. Well, move it around. What about Spirit Camera? What was it? The
Yokai Watch.
Did it use it? No, I meant Spirit Camera. Like I think it came out here as Spirit Camera. Was that
Oh, that's part of that additional pack of
no. What's the game series called with the dead girls?
Dead girls.
You know what I'm talking about.
It's not Yokai Watch.
Oh, the horror ones, like the camera ones.
Oh, Fatal Frame.
Yeah, Fatal Frame. Wasn't Spirit Camera like Cursed Memoir? Yeah, spin-off game in the Fatal Frame series. I think this probably used something like that too. I don't know if it did. I didn't play it, but I assume that it uses it like a camera in some way. No, that other game, the Chibi Robo had one.
Oh, okay.
I think a lot of the ones that use oh no, that's just the camera too.
That was a weird thing. Yeah, they use a lot of the AR stuff, but I never. Yeah, I completely didn't even realize that there was a accelerometer in there.
But isn't that the same with Switch? Like the big thing before Switch came out was, oh man, like HD Rumble. This is going to be amazing. And like, when does anybody ever use it?
Good question.
Like $90 controllers for no reason.
Man, Nintendo, yeah, they won't ever do that. I was just thinking, like, would they do like a non-HD Rumble controller?
They should. They won't, but
they won't.
There's a Hori one that's coming out next week. Did you see that? It's exactly what you're describing. It's a like you can't even, it doesn't even have Bluetooth. Like you can't even use it not connected to Switch. Like you can only use it in handheld.
And they remove the RF, I'm guessing, as well.
They took off everything. All it does is just direct control, but it has a D-pad, a proper D-pad instead of the buttons. And it costs like $20. It's like $25.
Oh.
So if you are looking for an alternative, you can look up Hori. I don't know what it's called.
I wonder if they're also secretly hoping people will buy it to strip the shell off of it to put it as a controller shell, so it has a proper like cross pad on there.
I don't know.
Because that's the big thing right now is that a lot of people are modding their Switches to, like, they're buying like third-party shells from China and stuff and putting a regular cross pad on there.
There you go. you can try it and then come back.
No thanks.
It's funny because I can do it. Like I have no hesitation. I don't give a shit. I have no problem with it. But I don't have the interest anymore.
Yeah, and there's a lot of tiny ribbons. and you have a pro controller like I do. So if you
Pro
really
controller
care about
sucks
it,
shit though. I hate it.
yeah, yeah.
It's the D-pad. I don't know if yours is that something that everyone knows about it, is that it's not good.
The D-pad's like I think everybody kind of lives with it. It's not.
It's not great.
No. But I mean, it's better than the buttons to a lot of people. So,
Well, based on game though, sometimes the buttons are better, I'd say.
yeah, it's
Sometimes
a bit more accurate, right?
for some games.
But yeah, besides that, it's been Dead Cells all day, all night
Cool.
on Steam. 43 hours have been played on it so far. It's such a man. That's a game.
Is it game of the year material?
I believe so. That's why I thought you were gonna do that.
I remember you said that. Yeah.
It is a game that has a lot of unlocking potential. It's for those of you who haven't played it before, it's a mix of Metroidvania with like Enter the Gungeon style, like weapons that are randomized that you pick up, along with randomized dungeons that are there's always like the same kind of it's a constricted randomization, so it's not just thrown into caution to the wind. It feels like they try to keep the same kind of theme, like kind of how Diablo does their dungeons, where you're always gonna find like certain things at certain places in the dungeon, like
the butcher on this level in Diablo 1, right?
Yeah, or you'll find like the lead up to the butcher is always like this kind of like a hallway or something like that. You know, like it kind of carries the same kind
modular.
of theme, yeah, yeah, modular, but not like completely random.
Yeah.
So it's done that. There's a lot of unlocks, so that's something that I love about anything that has a rogue-ish element to it, is to have that kind of progression still. So that's
so it feels like progression, right?
It feels like
not
progression.
Completely losing your progress by dying.
Yes, like the cells are used to both. For example, you have a flask that heals you. At first, you can only use it once per level, and it refills every level. But later on, you'll be able to expand it so you can take 2 drinks or 3 drinks from it. So that aids you in your progression. There's other things that allows you to start off with a better than standard sword or shield or secondary weapon. So you can, from the weapons that you've unlocked, you'll be able to start off with one of them. Enter the Gungeon style thing is when you unlock a weapon, it goes into your pool of weapons and stuff. So there's all that. You have to in order to get a weapon, you actually have to make it through the dungeon with the blueprint for the weapon. So that's also another additional challenge.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I read something about like a time attack where there's the doors that'll be closed if you don't like rush and get to that point in the level by a certain time.
So yeah, there's a kind of give and take with that, because if you rush through, obviously you're not. Sorry, let me back up. There's another mechanic where you you pick up like a scroll of power, and you can choose whether it's going to affect a certain stat of yours. And when that happens, you also get more HP and stuff. So when you get to those doors, if you're trying to time attack it, if you don't have enough of those like power-ups and weapon power-ups and everything, then you can get to the door, but then you might be screwed for the rest of the level. So because it's not, the door only gives you like a bunch of gold pickups, another one of those level up choices, and then like it's like a canister of the cells, the cells that you use as currency at the end of the level to buy your upgrades and stuff. So
might not be worth it.
Might not be worth it. Depends on the kind of run that you're doing. It also has dailies. It also has epic weapons and stuff that you can find that are not part of your standard set of weapons. So there's a whole bunch of things going on, and it controls wonderfully. Like, I think that's the biggest thing about this game. There's no there's no feeling of floatiness to the game. There's a lot of control to your character, and a lot of times you'll feel that if you die because there's a lot of stuff happening, then it's usually something that you could have avoided or planned out a little bit better. So there's a lot to the game. It's a lot of fun. You have a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, and two cooldown weapons that you can use, either a grenade or a turret or something along those lines, like a power that you can use, and those are on cooldowns and on your triggers. There's bleeding effect, poison effects, freezing effect on characters and yourself. So it's just a lot of stuff layered on top of each other, and they've been perfecting it all this time, and it's that's why it's such a joy to play with right now. So
sounds I don't know, you're starting to sell me. if I weren't purchasing another game tomorrow, sure. I probably would have jumped in, to be honest.
It's on Switch as well, so there's that too.
and it's like $10 more expensive, I'm assuming.
They're thinking so, and there's some slowdown, they said, when there's a lot of stuff on the screen, but
yeah, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
The thing that bothers me is everything on Switch is that much more expensive, right? I shouldn't say everything, but a lot of games that come out are easily $5-10 more.
Yeah, it's $25, I think, on Switch right now, and there is a physical version, so you might be able to get it used eventually.
Do you know what game I'm gonna buy tomorrow? I think originally you would talk me out of it, and I was like, no, fuck that guy.
We're gonna go through this whole Sonic business again.
Shenmue 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna give it another go. I really love it, and it's cool because there's a lot of people that I've been reading. I guess a bunch of people got it early.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying, like, I wasn't sure about whether I'd be into it again because it's, this game is what, like 18 years old or something, right? And I loved it at the time, and sometimes it's hard to go back, right? Especially when mechanics have changed so much and have improved like incredibly since. But a lot of people are saying like it doesn't matter. It's still a lot of fun. Like, I care about what's happening, and it's I get the same feeling that I had the first time I played it, and that's exciting. And so I'll pick it up and see how things are. I mean, it's like
I think it's a good thing for you to wait. They didn't give it to you with your tier of backing the new game?
No, but that was before there was any plan to even do it, right?
Oh, okay.
and to be honest, I think that's a big part of it too. Is I remember what happened, but it's also been like 15 years, right? And so,
what if this really turns you off, though, Chris?
Shit. I don't think that. See, there's the issue though. If I really like the first one, I really like the second one. I will enjoy them, and that'll be great. The thing I'm less nervous about is that the third one is bad. Because if the third one's bad, I have no nostalgia to forgive it.
Yeah,
it's not a 20-year-old game. Like, it's just a bad game, right?
Yeah.
But I have confidence that it will be fine, just as all other Kickstarter games always end up. Yep. And so I'm sure we'll be fine.
Don't try not to think about Yakuza while you're playing it. That's the only thing I would say.
No, but it's something different. I know everybody always compares Yakuza and
I can't disassociate the two. Like, in my mind, it's like everything with Shenmue that was good became great when it moved to Yakuza, and I can't disassociate it now.
But I disagree. I very much disagree with that, because don't you think that? I think personally that there's a lot more of a connection between Yakuza and, say Sleeping Dogs or Grand Theft Auto or something than it is between Yakuza and Shenmue. I think the only thing that's similar is the stupid little bullshit, like the like gacha machines and stuff like that. I can see, but fighting is not at all the same.
Well,
right?
fighting's Virtual Fighter because that's what he brought into the
Sure,
game.
Virtual Fighter, but it's the frequency of battles is very, very different. Where Yakuza, I think fighting is a joke. Like it's not a joke in that it's bad. Like it's parody, right? Like when you're rushed by like 10 street punks,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
every couple corners. Like
yeah.
when you fight in Shenmue, it's for a reason, right? Like
Yeah,
you
it's less
don't.
frequent. Yeah,
There's not that many fights,
yeah.
and so
It's a
when
lot
it,
geared more towards adventure. You're
yeah,
saying rather
yeah,
than like encounters when you're walking down the street.
yeah, and I don't think that Yakuza is the same thing. I don't think that it's a direct gimme. So think about, Don. He used to love talking about Yakuza, and I not just him. I love talking about it with him, right? But he was
Sure.
new to the series with Yakuza 0,
Mm-hmm.
and he's all about 6 now, and play Kiwami, and that's great. That's really exciting. But I don't think that someone's newly developed love of Yakuza will translate to a love of Shenmue.
I agree with that completely. No,
Right.
Yeah.
But
I think that's because I think Shenmue harkens back to a time where before they really tweaked and refined the formula, because like there's a lot of things in, for example, when Yakuza 1 first came out that were super annoying by the time, and they've like completely kind of removed by the time we got to even 0, before even 6 and Kiwami, right?
Mhm.
Like for example, the load times between running around and then going into a fight, things like that was like unbearable in the original games. Like it was so bad. The way that how stiff how stiff Kiryu was in fighting. That's why I think like back then it was a lot closer to something like Virtual Fighter, and also like Shenmue. But you know what? You're right. They were two different teams. I think everybody has always said that they were like they didn't really share their teams with each other. So when they did Shenmue, it's AM2, which is Yu Suzuki's team, and then whatever they did with Yakuza, it's not like they pulled everybody in.
AM2 was Sega's best team.
Yes. Oh,
Like
okay.
no one's ever beat AM2 personally.
Sure.
Continue.
The Lamborghini games. I don't know.
I'm not talking about Lamborghini games. I'm talking about all the kick-ass arcade sport games.
Yes. But yeah, I you're right in that they're not really the same. But to me, one memory has supplanted the other, and like I remember like I went through like some video game sites went through walks like replay throughs last year or 2 years ago because of the announcement, so they wanted to go back and see Shenmue again. And I looked at him like, I don't know, man.
I totally respect that, because I was feeling the same way. And then I did the same thing where I was watching a couple of videos and just kind of looking and seeing what was different. And there's
got excited.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few quality life changes that I think will help a lot without completely changing the game, right?
Sure.
And so I'll give it another go. I mean, if anything else, just as a refresher before Shenmue 3 comes out in like 2023.
Sure. So have you read up anything? Like, do they have like an option for you to choose between the crazy American voices and the Japanese voices?
Yeah, you can choose from both. And 100% I'll play the English ones. 100% English.
Did they redub this? Did they dub Shenmue 2? Because 2 never came with a dub, did it?
No, it didn't. And I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'm going to assume that they didn't.
Okay.
But yeah, for Shenmue 1 anyways, absolutely I'll play with English voices, just because, and not as a joke, but because like that's the charm of Shenmue to me. Like that's where my memory is
strong with that.
Absolutely,
right?
It is.
Yeah.
Do you know where I can find some sailors? Game's so good. I'm looking for a man named Terry.
Tom the Rastafarian.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. Like even talking about this, I'm like, oh, I'm excited because it's tomorrow. Get up early. I got some things to do, but then I'm gonna go pick it up. And yeah, I thought about doing. You know that you can save $5 by doing digital, but I don't know. I want it on my shelf, especially if the third one's coming physical. Like I want to have like 1 and 2 digital, and then this one physical.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Cool. Anything coming up that you're excited about?
Yeah, but I don't want to mention it now.
Okay. Yeah, we'll leave it.
Because it's kind of embarrassing what it is, and I'll mention it once it comes out and I played it a bit.
Oh.
Because I've been anticipating this game since I think the PlayStation 2 era. So
why don't send me like a message after or something, unless you
sure.
want to completely save it. But
Yeah.
Okay. Good show. Good to talk to you. We'll hopefully at some point we'll try to get all three of us back on the show. I know summer's difficult, but
I guess we should say, like everybody, there's some scheduling things that are going on with us with our personal lives, so we might have change in the date when we release the episodes. We're not sure yet. Maybe just for the next couple weeks until September, but we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. All right, we'll talk to you next week then.
Sweet.